We're the Young Indie Chroniclers podcast, and we're producing a new feature-length documentary, George Lucas, The Lost Golden Age.
George Lucas was going to do this Lawrence of Arabia scale epic on a 16-millimeter budget.
You got a chance to have the same adventure making the show as what Indy was doing.
His stuff is really quite political.
You didn't think I was going to run, did you?
I learned that when George says he wants to ultimately change or fix something, that he was going to do it.
We built a Kickstarter campaign to support the film. Late pledges are available now at Kickstarter.com.
Hello there. Welcome to Force Ghost Conversations. This podcast is your home for cozy deep dives into all things Star Wars and Lucasfilm-adjacent properties. This is your host, Anthony King, and each week I will be joined by fans, creators, and believers in the principles from the galaxy far, far away to discuss the thematical elements from our favorite Lucasfilm properties. And without further ado, it is time to gather around the campfire for some Force Ghost Conversations. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Force Ghost Conversations. We have an incredible episode here for you all today where we get to check in with our friends over at Skytalkers, Caitlin and Charlotte, and to hear about some of the recent travels that they did. They went over to Tunisia and toured a lot of the filming locations for both Star Wars, A New Hope, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace, and, of course, Indiana Jones as well. So I'm thrilled to hear about all these incredible places that they went to and to kind of really get to the bottom of why it's important for us to visit these historic and important places that are well known across anybody that come across like, oh, you're interested in Star Wars. Oh, you got to know about like the incredible behind the scenes details of how the production went together on Tunisia. And now they have a sense of what it was actually like to be there. So it's fun to kind of hear from them, their personal experiences with it, and to glean some more details about what that might have been like for them back 50 years ago now. So that is our main topic discussion today. There's been some news, though, in the Star Wars galaxy over the past week or so here. You may have heard about, Kathleen Kennedy stepping down and Dave Filoni and Lin-Wen Brennan coming on board as co-presidents to assume her former position now, technically at the time of this release. We did a quick emergency podcast episode earlier this week. It should be the last one in this feed, so make sure you go check that one out as we cover that one in pretty good length and detail. And of course, there are some Disneyland changes as well to Galaxy's Edge that we'll be talking about in an upcoming episode. So be on the lookout for that pretty soon here. And otherwise, that is all the news. So go check out our last episode and I'll pretty much get you caught up with everything here. But I am so excited to get into our conversation with Caitlin and Charlotte. So let's get into that right away here. Stay tuned. And thanks again for tuning into this episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another installment of Force Ghost Conversations. And boy, I've been looking forward to this episode for quite some time here. I don't know about you, but I follow the incredible podcast Skytalkers on Instagram and of course all the social media platforms. And I've been just following along with their travels to Tunisia, seeing all the sites that Star Wars was filmed at there, and just taking in a whole new culture that's so vastly different to that of the United States here, and to learn more about this experience, how it happened, take judicious notes myself about how I can do this trip, and maybe you can in the future too, listener. I've got Caitlin and Charlotte from Skytalkers here to chat all about this. Caitlin, let's start with you. Welcome to Force Ghost Conversations, and how are you doing?
Great. So happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us on again, Anthony. We love talking with you. It's so great. And we're so excited to talk about Tunisia some more.
It is absolutely my pleasure, and thank you for being willing to chat about your experience once more and relive it all again. I imagine it'll be a lot of fun to just rehash some old memories here, or not even old memories, recent memories here. Charlotte, welcome to Force Ghost Conversations, and how are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much, Anthony. I'm, like Caitlin, so pumped to talk about Tunisia tonight.
We're all pumped. We're excited. Let's dive into this thing here too, because I was kind of explaining off air, folks, that I had like the biggest FOMO of my life watching the two of you go on this incredible adventure, seeing all the sights, taking it all in. And I think I speak for myself and a lot of listeners here who are just curious as to how all this came about. Now, I know you went with like a group and you did this kind of like tour-esque kind of thing here. So let's kind of begin there. Charlotte, how exactly did you like discover and come across this opportunity?
So if I could just go back to the very beginning, in that I feel like Caitlin and I have always wanted to go to Tunisia in
Hmm.
a world where we could do that.
Okay.
And Galaxy Tours was something that we heard about, which is a tour group that is based in Tunisia. And they had been to a couple Star Wars celebrations. So honestly, I think that's where we started hearing their name.
Okay.
And then we followed them on Instagram. They followed us back. And we were like, oh, maybe we could do this. I don't know. It would be so good. Like, look at all these tours. Like, wow, it's kind of a good price. Look, wow, you can go to all these places. I didn't even know all these things were filmed in Tunisia. And yeah, and then the owner of Galaxy Tours, Davin Anderson, reached out to us and was like, hey, we'd love if you could come on one of these tours with us. And
Wow.
and we went for a discounted price, but we
Love
were
it.
able to work that out, and that's how we ended up going. And honestly, like, best decision ever. It felt like a little bit of fate because I don't know. The way it all happened was Caitlin and I were talking about it independently. Like,
Hmm.
maybe we should go. Maybe this is the year that we should go. And then it all kind of fell into place.
I mean, it sounds awesome. Like, right, it had this like incredible genesis of like, hey, I think we could do this kind of thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
also like, I remember Carrie Beck talking a few years ago when they were talking about bringing Kenobi into Rebels, and we're like, it's kind of a scary idea, but like the scary ideas are the ones you should go with. And I was kind of like,
Yes.
that seems
Yeah.
like how it originated for both of you. Is like, I guess we could do Tunisia. Like, why
Mhm.
not? And then it
Yeah.
ultimately bubbles from there to this brand new experience that you got to go on. Caitlin, was how long has Tunisia been on your bucket list to travel to? And did you ever think that you'd be doing some type of Star Wars tourism beyond like a celebration?
Yeah, I definitely think it's been on our bucket list for a while. Like Charlotte said, I think we've always wanted to check off filming locations for Star Wars, and especially the past couple years that we've like committed to going to basically every celebration. It's kind of like,
Hmm.
well, we're already traveling across the world for Star Wars. Why
That's
not
right.
like
Yeah.
figure out how to do these other really cool
Mhm.
places? So I mean, Tunisia's been on the list for a while, but like Charlotte said, I don't think we ever kind of knew a realistic or even practical way. Like, I don't know anyone who had been to Tunisia, so it's not a
Yeah.
place I like know a lot about. So when we
Yeah.
discovered Galaxy Tours, it was really serendipitous of like, oh, this is a way, like it's all set up for you. And like Charlotte said, it was really serendipitous how the trip came about, because we had literally been talking about it one night ourselves, and
Hmm.
then literally the next day Davin had DM'd us, and
You manifested it.
I think we did.
I think we kind of did.
Yeah, he wanted he was asking about coming on the show and like talking about Galaxy Tours and what it was, and we were already very curious, so we were like, yeah, yeah, come on down.
Another thing that sort of influenced our decision, and I think this is sort of subconscious, is we actually had friends who had gone to New Zealand
Mm,
for the Lord of the Rings tours.
Yeah.
wonderful.
And if you ever, like, I don't know, if I'm sure you have people listening who have heard of that. And I feel like it's a very well known thing that when you go to New Zealand, people go on like
It's
Lord of the
basically
Rings
New
tour.
Zealand's like biggest tourism.
Yeah.
Exactly. And honestly, it seemed so cool when they did it. And I remember saying to Caitlin, like, ugh, I wish that there was like a Star Wars version of this.
Hmm.
And then
Lo and
seeing
behold.
that, yeah, lo and behold, that's what Galaxy Tours is it's like a pure Star Wars tour. There's
Mhm.
also Indiana Jones folded into it, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
But
just sprinkling some indie there too.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fine.
But I think that sort of influenced our, like, oh wow, like that was our friends went on like a 2 to 3 week trip doing this, that we were like, wow, that's really cool.
That's
So
incredible.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
that's enough time to like really immerse yourself
Mhm.
into
Totally.
Tunisian culture, right? Because, it just kind of gets, I would say, just folded into Northern Africa, right? You got Morocco and Libya and
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and Algeria, just kind of like being around it, and then Tunisia is just kind of like that forgotten one in there that
In the
for
middle.
us Star Wars fans is like a part of its lore, right? This is
Yeah,
like
Absolutely.
almost
yeah.
like a pilgrimage of sorts that you guys got to go to see
It definitely is,
the
yeah.
place. And I know you guys have done similar pilgrimages, not for like um the filming locations, but you've gone to like George Lucas, like Modesto, and like I can't remember exactly the town, but like is it San Anselmo where the
Yep.
Indy statue is and the Yoda statue and all of that is? So like, you know, you're not unfamiliar to like going off the beaten path to finding the cool stuff that's related to these creators from the galaxy far, far away, but you took it to the next level here, which I think is so cool and inspiring, especially because I mean, I'll just speak for myself here. It can seem a little daunting to like,
Totally.
especially, I mean, it's not like London or Paris or like these places that are very well, like there's 1,000 YouTube videos and podcasts about how to get around and whatnot. But like Tunisia is a whole
Totally.
different ball game when it comes to this type of stuff. So kudos to both of you for taking the incredible step forward to do such an amazing feat like this.
Thank you. It was honestly, Davin and Galaxy Tours made it really easy. I'd never been to Africa before, so this was my first time in Africa, and I really had no idea where I was going.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
and a lot of people that I told, they didn't even know where Tunisia was at all. So I'd be like,
oh
well,
yeah,
you just kind of go straight down from Italy, and there it is.
that's
But
right. Just straight path down.
Just right there.
yeah, just hop across the Mediterranean and you're there. And honestly, it was such a great experience. Our time in Tunisia before and after the Galaxy tours, it was great. But
Mhm.
they really do make it easy. And even if you're not spending time in Tunisia before and after, it's so seamless. And Davin has lived in Tunisia before. He's very
Oh,
involved.
wonderful.
So if you have questions or need recommendations, which we did, he was able to give us a ton of recommendations about things to do and like areas to stay in and places to go that we were able to do before and after the actual tour took place.
Amazing. Well, I want to get into some of like where all across the country that you went here. So from a geographical standpoint, where did you like go and how did like that correspond with some of the filming locations to the best that you can in Star Wars and Indy too? Caitlin, where did you all travel across this country here?
A lot of places. I actually think this is one of the best selling points of the tour because even if you're not a Star Wars fan for it, you get to see so much of the country, which I
Okay.
think there are very few. I don't think actually any vacation I've been on to a new place where I feel like I've gotten to see a lot of the country. But for Star Wars, so a lot of people coming from the US, you'll fly into the capital city of Tunis, which is right
Mhm.
along the coast. And then from there, you have to get to the island of Jerba, which this is where the tour starts. And Jerba is an island. It's like southeast of Tunis along the coast. And in a plane, it's like an hour and a half flight, maybe not even.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
45 minutes.
yeah, if you drive, it's like 6-ish
6
hours.
hours.
Yeah, depending on how many stops you take. But Jerba is really like that's Tatooine, like the inspiration for a lot of the
Wow.
architecture for Tatooine. A lot of the filming sites that we saw all take place on Jerba. There were others throughout the country, but Jerba really is kind of the nexus, I think. Like when you think of like the exterior of Luke's house, of the cantina, of Ben Kenobi's house, all of that is on Jerba, and you look around, like we were driving
Okay.
through it on the bus, and it's crazy. Like you really feel like
The
you're there.
rounded roofs,
Yeah.
the like buttresses that are very much like Tatooine.
Mhm.
When you think about Tatooine, it's actually Jerban architecture, and Jerba is spelled Djerba,
Okay.
Yeah.
if anyone is wondering. And actually, there's a species in Star Wars called the Jerban, right, Caitlin?
Yeah, I
That's
think
spelled
so.
that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, it's
Gerbil.
like a lizardy thing, I think, or
Amazing.
dinosaur thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so cool, but what was crazy is that it's an island, obviously, so it's on the coast. So like Ben Kenobi's house is quite literally right up against the ocean. So I don't know, you're visiting Ben Kenobi's house and you're like, this does not look like the desert at all. But of course it's all the
Yeah, you're like,
special
I could live
effects.
here as a hermit. This is
Yeah,
picturesque.
yeah, exactly. But you spend a good amount of time on Jerba. That's kind of where the tour starts, and then you basically continue, kind of like west, really west through the country. And we had what two? We stopped in Matmata. That is where the Hotel City
Yeah.
Idris
I got up the
Okay,
map.
great, great.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
you
trying
go
to do this
down
by
to
memory.
Medellin, and then you go through Medellin down to Qasar Hadada, which is where they filmed a lot of the Phantom Menace and prequel scenes. And
Okay.
there's a lot of we go through like scouted locations too, so things
Mm,
that inspired them to like use CGI and backgrounds to, or like maybe even build a set that looks
got it.
just like this versus go all the way out in the desert like we did to film. They ended up doing that. And then you go down into the desert, like the Sahara Desert, um, over into
NEFTA.
Tozier and Nefta. Yeah, and Nefta is like an oasis town, and that's like
Wow.
close to the like Tunisian border. And like yeah, it's quite literally an oasis where everything around it is desert, and inside of it is all like palms and
A couple palm trees and the
yeah.
like you're looking at a mirage basically.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
Anthony, it's
crazy.
insane.
It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's all the way over where the like actual exterior of the Lars homestead is in the middle of the desert. And then you spend like on that journey, you spend, like Caitlin mentioned, a night in Mount Mata, which is where they filmed the interior of the Lars homestead. So that's two separate locations where they
Okay.
filmed the homestead.
Got it. So
You-
two
then you
separate
spend
locations.
overnight there,
Yeah.
which is like
And you got to spend
huge.
overnight there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. Well, the
What?
Hotel City Idris has been a hotel since like 1968. So it's been there for a while, and it's like the pits like you see in the movie, exactly like that. And
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you gotta go. You gotta do it.
Yeah.
It was really wild.
And they just refurbished it too.
did,
So
yeah.
like we were the first people to sleep in the brand new rooms, which were allegedly like way nice. Like it was a big upgrade.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
From what it used to be. So we felt really lucky with that.
Yeah.
But it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that just sounds incredible to begin with. And were they serving blue milk as like,
Sure
welcome,
were.
come on in?
At breakfast,
They
we
were?
get blue milk.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
it should
still
be
have like
like,
the props of like when they filmed in
Yeah.
76 and then also 2000 for Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Davin, the tour guide, does a lot of like, this is original, this isn't. This is original, this isn't.
Mhm.
This is where they filmed that, and it was great.
Yeah.
that is beautiful. And then you got the full like range, it sounds like, just in general, from like, all right, you're a coastal Mediterranean town, which is island even, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sold there alone just by like, he doesn't even need a Star Wars connection there. I feel like I go to Jerba on my own just for
Totally. And
It's-
and by the way, it's a really popular European destination for just that, like
Okay.
the beach going. And there's a lot of like bigger resorts on Jerba. We didn't really see them, but like
Mm.
there's like big name hotels there that are big, like all inclusive resorts
Oh,
that people go to.
what a
for-
win.
It is.
Yeah.
Best of both worlds on that front. Wow,
Yes.
getting all inclusive and some Star Wars. Man,
Oh,
sign me
yeah.
up. I could spend a couple weeks there. So of all those locations, what would you say was your favorite to be around and why? Caitlin, let's start with you on this one. What was your favorite?
Oh, it's got to be the exterior of the Lars homestead, binary
Beautiful.
sunset. I really don't know how you top that. It's it's not the last thing you see on the trip, but it's treated as kind of like a grand finale to the trip because
As it should be, yeah.
yeah. That day you spend the day on the ATVs in the Sahara Desert, and you
What?
yeah, you're ATVing around in the Sahara Desert. It's also like the Phantom Menace day because you go to Mas Espa, which is a built set that they built for the film that is still there. And so we picked up the ATVs at Mas Espa, and then you like ATV around, and they take you down where they filmed the start of the pod race, and that's like
Mhm.
where you get used to driving the ATVs and stuff. It's quite literally where they started the pod race. You know, it's
Wow.
so fine. It's so casual. And then you ride the ATVs for like an hour, 2 hour, like maybe even longer.
Like 3-4 hours.
Yeah, a really long time.
4 hours.
And
That was a long time.
yeah, you stop at a couple different sites for filming, really for the Phantom Menace. And then towards the end of the afternoon, like obviously you time it for sunset, they take you and you drive the ATVs for like 15 minutes from the starting point down this, I don't know, salt flat, and the homestead just like appears out of thin air on the
Oh, beautiful.
horizon, and you're there at sunset and they're playing the music and you cry and you try to get all your pictures and it's great. It's wonderful.
Wow. I mean, how could you not? That seems like such an emotional experience just on its own, but add in the binary sunset score at the same time, plus it being sundown. That just sounds like a magical experience. Like that's the trip alone right there. Like that's what you paid for to experience and to have that memory for yourself. But I'm curious about this 4-hour ATV. Like, this is your first time on ATV? That you just like,
Yeah, it was
you
me.
figured it out on the fly? Like, wow, doing the sand dunes of the desert and just an ATV to all these different filming locations. Just this wild.
Caitlin and I can't remember if it was the first time on ATVs, but like we were definitely green on the
Yeah.
ATV.
Yeah. You figured it out pretty fast, right?
Yeah, I think Caitlin mentioned so we go around like where they filmed the pod race, and there's a good like hour of that where you're just kind of tooling around on
Oh, and you feel like you're
pod
in a
on
They
the
call it the derby.
on the ATV. It's like a derby, like you
Yeah.
go round and round. It's like this big expanse of
Wow.
flat. And
Wow.
that's where you really get used to the ATV. Like it's really the like testing grounds for you to feel how the ATV goes. So by the end of that you feel kind of good, right?
Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
definitely.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you got your ATV legs running,
Mhm.
just in case you need to do it again in the future.
Yeah.
It's a good skill to have if you're going to these remote filming locations. Because I remember, I think with like the Rogue One supplemental material, I think Gareth Edwards talked about he trekked out to the exterior of the Lars homestead once before it was even like a really touristy thing to even go
Yeah.
to, and he was like, "Boy, did I find my way out there somehow, and
It's-
somehow made it back."
Yeah,
And
it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and
No, like you really need a
you need
guide.
someone. Yeah, and
Yeah.
the Lars homestead that's there, the structure is from Attack of the Clones, so it's not the A New Hope one because obviously they took that down when they
yeah, they were like,
they
"This
left.
film
Yeah,
ain't
yeah,
going
yeah.
anywhere."
Um,
And it's even a lot to say that it is the Attack of the Clones ones.
Right.
I think that the bones of it are the Attack of the Clones one, but this is harsh condition, like really susceptible to sandstorms. So
And
it's been
flooding.
rebuilt a couple times, and flooding and
Yeah.
sandstorms.
Oh yeah, I
So
bet.
yeah, so it's been rebuilt a couple times. So what's there? It's like it's part of history, but it's been rebuilt and redone a couple times. But it doesn't make it any less dramatic or
Yeah, absolutely.
lovely.
It's still in the same spot.
It is.
And, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah, it
history
is in
has
the same
been
spot.
rebuilt and, you know, it's historic preservation as best as we can do
Exactly.
as
Mhm.
time goes on. So, you know, it is what it is. But you got that wonderful experience. You've been on location, you felt the feels, and it just sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Charlotte, was that also your favorite
It's
activity
hard.
or
It's
place, or
hard
do you have
not to
another
say
one?
that.
Yeah.
Um, I would say that I think seeing the Qasar Hadada, which is where they filmed like the slave quarters in The Phantom Menace. We had lunch there, like an outdoor banquet style lunch that was so lovely. And I think that once you see, if you Google like Qasar Hadada, you'll see it's these structures that are like rounded with like tiny little windows on them, and you're within them. And the one that we went to, Qasar Hadada, is like pretty well preserved and well taken care of, like super well maintained. And that was like really cool. And
Yeah.
it was also in the middle of nowhere. It took a long time to get there up this like swirly, curvy hillside. So on a
Wow.
bus. It was a lot, but it was great.
Yeah, you're like, I'm
We
glad
made
I'm
it.
not driving here. Just one of those, like,
Yes.
don't look, just breathe. We'll get through it. We'll get there. And it was worth it by the end when you got there.
100%. That was Caitlin and I. We were like, it's okay. We got this. It's gonna be
It's the
fine.
it's the destination, not the journey.
Exactly.
Yeah, in this
Exactly.
case, yeah, it was.
And the lunch was so good. So
Yeah.
that was
It
just
made
a
it
really
worth it.
great
Yeah.
afternoon. Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
we almost died, but it was worth it in the end. We got it. At the
Mhm.
end of all things, it was the food that really got us through. Well, I guess that gets me to like my next question here, which you kind of talked a little bit about here, but I'm curious just about the general logistics of how you got from place to place. It seemed like, you know, there's definitely ATVs, there's some buses. You're getting to these like remote locations. You're in the desert, you're in cities. Like, how are you getting around from place to place? I know you're on a tour, but like, did you have some like free time to walk around too and explore on your own? Tell me all about it, Charlotte. tell me how you got around and what all you did
Okay,
in doing
the
that.
logistics, like Caitlin mentioned, when we flew into Tunis, we ended up there, and how there's two different options to get to Jerba. We somehow did the driving option, which actually we thought was amazing because we got to make a stop in between at a historic site that was like
Nice.
a Colosseum, like a Roman Colosseum.
Oh,
That
what a
was
win.
really cool. It's one of the best preserved Roman Colosseums. So the trip was a lot of driving. And so the logistics of how to get around was like a van and then also a bus. And the bus was, how many people do you think were on the bus, Caitlin? Like, how big is that bus?
The tour was 18 people, and then there were 2 Tunisian tour guides, and then Davin was there. So, like, and the bus driver. So, just about 21, 22 people on the bus.
Yeah.
It's a good school group.
It was
Yeah.
like not a huge bus. But definitely a nice coach.
A good coach.
And
okay. Not a school
that
bus.
carried
No,
us
not a school
from
bus.
place to place. Not a school bus at all. No. It was a nice coach. It was great. And yeah, Caitlin and I and our friends Tori and Marta sat in the back. We all sat in the back. We were like,
Kids in the back. That's right.
it was great. And so like that's the logistics, and everything was so well planned down to timing, food. We're very well informed about, okay, we're going to this place next. We're doing this. If anyone ever was anxious about any of that, like we were so informed about what we were doing and where we were going and how long it was going to take, what we were going to be eating and what we were going to be eating. And like everything was so arranged so well that like we'd arrive and we would have already have ordered our food and things like that. And the food was amazing. Like really, really great. A lot of traditional food, lots of lamb, lots of couscous. Yeah. What else?
I'm ready to talk food here. I'm excited to hear about all the food options because I feel like that might be the part about Tunisia I know the least. Like I assume it's a little bit of like that North African general
Yes.
flair,
Mhm.
but I'm sure there's some specific nuances that you guys got to experience specifically because you're in country. Caitlin, what was like the food thing that stood out to you?
Oh, all of the food we had was honestly so delicious. And I am not, Charlotte's a much more adventurous eater than I am. So
Okay.
this was definitely
I too am a
something
very picky eater. This
that
is
was
a
like,
scary topic for me.
I'm usually like a 6 or a 7 on the adventurous eating scale, depending on where we were. So I was a little nervous about what we were going to be eating, but it was all delicious. And I feel like nothing like scared me or was too, I don't know. It wasn't as different as I thought it was going to be, but so delicious. And I think I was surprised by how much I really liked. Like there was like a lot of meat and like couscous. We had some people on our tour who had camel, which sounded
Camel.
delicious, honestly, but I didn't end up getting it that day. But a lot of people did. And
Wow.
yeah, so a lot of like lamb, chicken, couscous. They have this thing in Tunisia called brick, which is like it's like a almost like an empanada but with egg in it, and then it can have like shrimp, it can have veggies, it can have potato, it can have chicken in it. And this was like everyone's favorite thing. They serve
It's every single meal.
Yeah,
has
they
this.
serve it with all meals. Is the brick, and
It's called brick.
Yeah.
Brick, like literally what I'm
Yeah,
thinking. Brick.
it's like phyllo dough, and the main thing about it is that it's fried, and inside of it is what I assume when they fold this phyllo dough, they put like a raw egg in it, and then when
Okay.
they drop it in the fryer, the egg cooks, and then you leave it
a little runny.
as is for as long as you want the egg to be cooked. So like once it's out, if you leave it longer and the egg cooks longer on your plate. If you want it right away, if you want like a really runny egg, then you just cut
Gnarly.
it right away.
It's
yeah.
Wow.
delicious. Yeah, I think we had some of the best lamb I've ever had there. The brick was delicious.
The brick.
The dates we had.
Dates.
Some bad dates.
No, that's the thing.
Good
Only
dates.
good dates. Tunisia is known for its dates, and they delivered. They were delicious. We had all the fruit tasted incredible that we had. The oranges, dates, pomegranates. It was great. It was wonderful.
Wow, I mean, you're selling this like in the best way possible here because you're already saying fun locations to go to, wonderful memories. It's like almost a immersive experience in many ways, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like experiences that you all had. Great lodging. The project manager in me loves a well thought out, well detailed, planned
Yes.
logistical endeavor here from start to finish. And the food rocks. Like that's why am I not signed up right now for the next trip? Is the
Why
better
not?
question. Like as soon as we're done here, I'm like, Galaxy Tours, looking that right up.
Yes.
So I'm just curious because I did see a lot of the pictures here and looked, it was a lot of fun, and it seems like you had many wonderful experiences. What would you say is like the most treasured memory that you'll have from this? That years down the line, you're gonna be like, wow, that's like the biggest highlight memory that I have from Tunisia. Caitlin, what's your go-to response right now?
Oh, I mean, I hate to say the binary sunset again, but
Oh, please go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, that is the mecca, I think, for Star Wars fans. So I kind of don't know. Like I've said this before about the trip, but I would do the whole trip again just to do that day. Like we don't need to do
Mm,
anything else on the trip. I would repeat that day alone to end there at the sunset. It just, I mean, it's one of the top Star Wars moments, I think, for most people. So, and to be there with my best
yeah.
friend, it's like it was
Yeah.
emotional. It was so special to get to do that. But I think aside from that, I think just like getting to to do this experience honestly overall that we
Hmm.
felt so different, and like I said, we didn't know anyone who had been to Tunisia before, so it kind of felt like to venture out into this kind of big unknown for us anyway. I don't know, it was a really cool
Yeah.
experience and not something we've done before really. Like we travel a lot, but this was really a new experience for both of us to go somewhere completely new, really, for the both of
Hmm.
us. So I think that was really special. And the whole trip was honestly great. Like, all of it is such a wonderful memory. Like, the people we got to go with, the whole tour group that you're there with, it's like you just get to be friends with everyone by the end of it. And like, we're all on the same bus together
Yeah.
going to these places, and you're all taking pictures of each other and like, trying to get the perfect shot. And it's just really fun, and it's also so informative too, which we love learning.
Yeah.
That's right. How
So,
many
Like
like all the behind the scenes details that you now know because you've been boots on the ground in these locations?
yeah, yeah. So kind of a cop out answer, but like all of it.
No
yeah.
cop out answer at all. That was really great. Charlotte, what would you say is your most treasured memory at this
It's the
time at this day and
same.
age? Yeah, same one.
It's the same. I'm sorry, but it is that one. I would say that like another one that was really special that was an additional part of the tour. We did an Indiana Jones add-on day, which
Oh, it's
I
an
highly
add-on. Okay.
recommend. And just because we haven't really brought it up, it really was so special. It ends that add-on day. You go to a town. What's that town called again, Keelan?
Carowin. And
Carowin.
it's
Yes.
Cairo
Heroin.
in
It's
Raiders.
Cairo in Raiders of the Lost
Oh,
Ark.
Yeah.
And
baller.
they filmed everything there.
Yeah.
And so you do a whole walk through the Casbah
In the
to like
Medina.
see
Yeah.
all Medina, yeah, to see all of the places that they shot it at, and it's all very close. And Davin has a relationship with the person that owns the house that has the like
The terrace.
the terrace where Sala brings Indy and Marion on the
Yeah.
roof, and they overlook Cairo and everything. And
Oh,
it and
amazing.
that part of the day culminates with sunset on the roof there.
Oh,
And it was really, really special because the person that owns it is this like lovely woman who just loves to cook, and she kept bringing us out food and like all this dessert and all this like lovely tea, and it was so generous and so great. So
Yeah.
that was really special because it was like, oh my gosh, that was the end of the tour for us really, and it was like,
mm,
whoa, like
Yeah.
what an experience, and here we are in this place that we never really thought we'd be, and what a day. We're learning so much, and this really gracious person opened up her home and her terrace
yeah.
for us, and that was really special, and I will remember that forever.
Yeah.
I can't believe that someone actually like owns like it's actual place that someone lives
Yeah.
in is a filming location. Like that's
We
kind
learned
of
some
wild to begin with.
Yeah.
I know, right? We learned some crazy stuff too about how because in this specific town and most like Muslim countries in these cities the tallest building cannot be taller than the minaret of a
The
mosque.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So in order to film that scene, they had to find the tallest building. And so this was the tallest building. It was like the second tallest building in besides the minaret on the mosque, the grand
Sure.
mosque that's been there for like literally forever. And they had to ask everyone in the town to remove their satellite dishes when they were filming in
Nice.
1979.
Yeah.
And isn't that so funny? So, and everyone complied, which we asked the owner and we were like, how did that even go? And she
Yeah.
was like,
People lost TV for a couple days because of that.
yeah.
But they're like, but we're famous now.
Yes.
The rooftops of our homes are now in this, like,
Exactly.
one of the most successful films of all time.
Mhm.
Which is pretty
It
cool
was
to be
worth it.
immortalized in that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was worth it. But I just think it's so funny that like literally everyone in the city took down their satellite dishes.
You know, in the age of a post pandemic, right, where like a community's coming together for a common
Yes.
good,
Right.
right? It's like not everyone could mask up and do all that stuff. So it's a
Right.
thrill to at least hear some like aspect of a whole community doing something
Right.
for
Yeah.
just a common shared interest
Totally.
and goal. I think it's cool.
And I think that's why it was so incredulous. We were like, everyone did that and it wasn't an issue. Like they weren't paid. They just did it.
Yeah.
Out of the kindness of their hearts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
couldn't do that today. I bet you. Could you
Mm-mm.
imagine just like, you know, for example, New York City, right? Like, oh, can you
No.
all
No,
just like
definitely
turn
not.
your lights off for a night so that we can film in this location?
No.
No.
Yeah, pay up.
Yeah, exactly. What do I get out of this here?
Yes.
The glory of being in a movie? Nah. Is it going to be successful?
For my
Probably not.
window to maybe be in a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Left on the
I think that's
cutting room
really
floor.
cool. Well, I'm just glad to hear indie add-on day like that. I'm sold already on the Star Wars stuff, but as an avid indie fan myself, I'm like, how could I throw more into this wonderful endeavor here? And
It's worth
Yeah,
it.
it's you know, doing all the indie cool stuff.
It's
Yeah.
really worth it, honestly, because you drive from you start in Jerba, right, and then you go all the way west to
Mm-hmm.
Nefta and Tozer, and then you drive all the way back to Jerba, and then everyone departs from Jerba the same way
Got it.
they arrived. But if you're doing the Carowin day, you get in a bus from Jerba and you drive out to Carowin, which is about 3-ish hours to Carowin, and then you spend like the whole day there. And it was really cool because all of a lot of the Star Wars stuff was a lot of driving between sites. Obviously, we're kind of getting more and more rural as we're going out and you're in the desert. And then
Yeah.
suddenly you're back on this coastal island. And then you go to this like very urban Medina city of Carowin. And it's like a completely different energy and vibe. And you're walking around, and Davin, the owner and tour guide for us, he has like these booklets up and he's like, okay, so we've got this shot here and like it's this wall right here, and like, okay, we've got this one, can you tell which wall it is? And you're like playing a matching game, and then everyone's taking pictures.
Amazing.
And it was really cool. Loved Carowin. I'm so glad we had the opportunity to do that. It was definitely worth it, especially if you're an Indiana Jones fan, because it's all right there.
Yeah.
It's all in this one
It's
place.
the city to go to for Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. for
Literally,
sure.
it sounds like
Yeah.
it's like an indie travel mecca of
Yeah,
sorts.
we
Yes,
had
yes.
lunch, right where he blows up the German truck, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's right.
Oh,
it's
incredible.
right there. And we were just sitting like in the alleyway, and that's where the restaurant was that we had lunch. It was great.
Luncheon in like a timeless alleyway that I've seen many countless times over the years. Like
100%.
wow,
Yeah.
sign me up
Mhm.
for that alone.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yes.
And how cool, like, I mean, you were both there together, of course, but not just together, but with like 18 other, potentially 18 other like-minded people. They're like, I love this and I'm willing to, pay top dollar for
Mhm.
this incredible experience, to have this shared moment with all these different people of like interest. And I think that's pretty
For
cool on its
sure.
own too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Caitlin and I were really curious about like who we would meet on the tour. Everyone was amazing. And I think that we had assumed that people were like a certain level of Star Wars fan to do this. But
Mm.
the fact of the matter is, like, you could be any level of Star Wars fan or maybe not even a fan to do something
Sure,
like this,
yeah.
because it's just a really cool prism into seeing a new culture
Yeah.
Mhm.
and a way to just like take in a country, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great way to
Yeah.
put it.
Mhm.
I could imagine there's a person that has done this tour that has never seen a Star Wars or an Indiana
Someone on our
Jones. And they're like,
tour.
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, there's like spouses that come for their
Oh, okay, yeah,
Star
that's
Wars
fair.
fan spouse, but yeah.
Mhm.
That's the person to like have a deep interview with. Like, what did you get out
Mhm.
of this? Like, what was your big takeaways? Did you just enjoy the food? That's a different experience. I'd be thrilled to hear about.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. But everyone was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
We had a great time.
Hmm.
And that just makes for just a totally awesome, well-rounded experience in general.
Yeah.
Good food, good people, good times. Sounds excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, in your opinion, now that you've been to a couple, you've been to many in Tunisia, and you've been to just places that inspired Star Wars. You've been to Japan, right? That's definitely in the nucleus of how, like, in the DNA of Star Wars. You've been to London, with like where all, like, a lot of the L Street and Pinewood is there, right? And that's definitely in the DNA of Star Wars. And you've been to San Francisco and Los Angeles and all that. I guess, in your opinion, why is it important to visit like the locations where Star Wars was filmed and brought to life? Charlotte, what are your thoughts on that question?
Yeah, it's one I've thought a lot about, actually. I think that at least for me, I think I've spent a huge chunk of my life trying to get closer to the obsession that I have with Star Wars. And I think that we are just like naturally curious about these places that we hear. If we spend so long reading and learning about the behind the scenes, the making of Star
Yeah.
Wars, you hear about a location enough that you're like, I need to go there. I need to experience that. I need to see what these filmmakers and every creative saw when they went there. And I
Yeah.
need to get closer somehow to, because that's it. I think that's what we're all trying to do, even with podcasting, with going to Celebration. We
Sure.
just want to get closer to whatever it is that we love about Star Wars. And I think that you experience that by going to the location in which Star Wars was filmed, especially Tunisia, which I think is like the nexus for Star Wars. It was the
Yeah.
first thing that was ever shot, right? Like
Sure.
it feels so core to Star Wars as a story, and there's so much of it that was filmed there that it really it felt central to
To everything that comes
the
after.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's like the genesis of like where it all like came from, and in a way.
100%.
And I like that you've pinpointed, like, I'm just trying to understand more about this.
Mhm.
Like, how I love what you said there. I'm trying to get closer to this and understand like the how and the why, so I can explain myself a bit more in a way.
Yes.
Like, why am I so connected to this? And I need to go to the places where it was created in, where these people toiled in the sands in the hot sun. And I'm thinking of Pink Short Guy. That
Yes, Pink
is
Short
with
Guy.
he's out there. And
We-
like, I'm here, and I'm thinking of in the Mos Espa stuff with Liam Neeson wearing the crazy
Yeah.
hat over his,
Yes.
the umbrella over his head. And it's like, I need to see where this was done so I can understand what it all took to make this thing that I love
Yeah.
so much, and how hot it was, and how the storms and whatnot. And Star Wars 77, 76, when they're filming it, is such a troubled production there in Tunisia.
Yeah.
And like, you have a better than anybody, frankly, aside from the people that were there, or at least 99.99% of people, to actually say like, yeah, it was tough getting out there. I had to do an ATV ride for about 3 to 4 hours, and like, I can only imagine back then how even more difficult it was without cell phones, and just like how they
One
were
thing-
able to do this. And it's George being like, I don't know, we'll figure it out.
Exactly. And I mean, this is so crazy. So we went in November, right?
Mhm.
It's like the end of their season.
Yeah.
They filmed in what is it? It was like April, and then
Part of March, like the end of March.
but no, Phantom Menace, I think, filmed in like July.
Oh yeah, Phantom Menace.
Oh.
was, like, summer.
And so when you watch the beginning documentary and they're like, it's 130 degrees on the bottom of the screen, I cannot
Oh.
handle it
It
because
sounds
the-
awful.
it sounds awful because
It's like,
we were
poor Ahmad Best needs an IV of water in him at all
Yeah, and
times.
everyone does. No one should be out in that. And I think we were even in the desert. It was like 80, 85 degrees. It was hot.
Yeah.
And it was November.
Wow.
So with no sandstorm, like we had perfect weather,
Yeah.
all things considered. And you're so right though. It really like puts things into perspective around the drastic lengths that they went to film this movie and how that really was a troubled production and how they probably thought, what are we doing here?
What are we doing? Yeah.
Yeah. Part of the tour that Caitlin and I didn't mention, which actually is like a super huge highlight, is there's a hike involved.
Oh, a hike in the desert?
Yeah. It's how would you describe that, Caitlin? It's like
Okay.
it's a national park.
Yeah.
That's like a hill mountain.
It's a canyon.
It's a canyon. Yes, it's a
Gorge.
canyon. It's
Beggar's
a gorge
Canyon?
Yeah.
No, but yes, literally,
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
And they've also filmed a ton of Raiders of the Lost Ark there as well.
Nice.
And they filmed like where the R2-D2 gets stunned by the Jawas, where Luke
Okay, I know exactly.
And
Luke and the Tusken on the
Yeah.
rock. And you would think that they would make it easy on themselves and just find a spot to film that didn't require a 30-minute journey into a gorge with robots and huge film equipment in the like massive heat. You would think that, but they didn't do that.
Yeah.
They instead
No.
decided to go for it.
You're like, no
And-
wonder George had heart palpitations throughout the rest of this.
honestly.
Yes.
'cause
Yeah.
And-
the Beggar's Canyon was actually a huge highlight for us. I can't remember the name of the gorge, but you like hiked up the side of it for like 30 to 45 minutes. And that's where they do the line of, I've never seen a wretched
Hive of more
hive of
scum.
villainy is up there. And then you go back down into the gorge. And then that's where all of the scenes with like R2 and Luke and Ben Kenobi, like the hello there, and all of that is down there. So, I mean, it's, I the whole way up, I was thinking about Alec Guinness hiking up the side of
Yeah.
this gorge. Like, are we okay? What are we doing? What am I doing right now? But it wasn't that bad, but with the film equipment and everything involved, I can only imagine how strenuous that was. The actual hike itself is honestly not all that arduous, all things considered, but it definitely is a hike, and it is like 30 to 45 minutes of, going up an incline.
An incline. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might have been even longer than that, maybe an hour and a half. But it was I
Wow.
don't think I didn't brace myself for the hike at all. And it wasn't hard. It honestly wasn't hard. Don't be scared by the hike.
Yeah.
It was a hike.
Yeah.
Hikes are hikes, right?
Yeah, hikes are
Yeah.
hikes.
You know what
No
you're getting
tree
into.
coverage,
It it was
no
hot,
waterfall at the
but
end.
it was gorgeous. Like it was
was.
so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was so lovely to like do this beautiful. It looked like the Grand Canyon in a lot of ways.
Beautiful.
Yeah, like those like clays. It was great.
Yeah.
Well, and now you have a greater appreciation too for like you were saying, Caitlin, the Alec Guinness of it all, right? Because as you're describing this is like the poor man that has his Academy Award. That's like the person signed to give gravitas to this cast and this production, and he's like, "Why am I wearing these thick robes and walking in this hot
Actually,
desert? My hair's flying all over the place." And, like,
God bless him.
he's just thinking like, "What did I do? Why did I sign up for this here? This no-name director guy, something I don't know, some of this wacky space sci-fi thing. Who I'm just coming here for a paycheck." And wow, I immediately put in their shoes, and like I understand Anakin a lot more now. Sand does get everywhere, it's coarse and it's rough.
It does.
Oh my gosh, Anthony, I'm so glad you brought that up. For the ATV, we were covered in
Oh, I
sand
bet.
and
I
dirt.
bet.
Like,
You-
it makes-
I was blowing my nose
Yeah.
and sand was coming out.
Yeah.
And not to be
No.
disgusting, but it was so I really felt like I understand Anakin Skywalker in a big way.
You were like, no one can ever say anything ill about that line again because you weren't
Not at
there.
all.
Like that was George post Phantom Menace writing, and he was like, I really am not going back there. I'm not going back there as any rights going back to
And then he
Tunisia
does
to
it.
film again. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, Caitlin, do you have anything else to add to the question of like why is it important to visit these locations?
I think Charlotte gave a great answer and is definitely why I like going to. I mean, I think that just to add on, of like seeking to understand the people who make this thing that we love. Like an easy example is George Lucas, of course. And
Yeah.
like we've been lucky enough to visit his like hometown, and we talk about this a lot on the show of like we have an idea of who these people are in our heads from like the things we read and the interviews we watch of them, but to actually be in the places that did something for them, whether it was raise them or inspire them or where they filmed their, major blockbuster hit Star Wars,
Sure.
it almost makes them more real in a way, and it feels like we are closer to that understanding of who the real person is, the real creator, something like that. Obviously, we don't know George Lucas. We're never like it's not that,
Whoa, not yet.
uh,
Not yet. Manifesting.
Okay. But it does feel like just having a greater understanding and appreciation for their process and kind of all these pieces along the way of someone like George Lucas's life that,
Hmm.
brought him to Tunisia and the things that he saw there that inspired him. And especially in a place like Tunisia, which has obviously changed a lot since the 1970s, but also in a lot of ways hasn't. So you are
Right.
getting to see places that, like George would probably still know which way to go. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think that's really cool and really special. And there probably aren't a lot of places in the world associated with Star Wars that you're going to have that type of experience. So I think if you've ever thought about going to Tunisia to do a tour like this, you should, because it's great. It really is once in a lifetime, and you'll just be in awe of everything that you're seeing.
Yeah, like again, love everything that you're saying there. What as you were talking there, I'm immediately taken to this part in Good Will Hunting where Matt Damon's character is like, I've read all these books, and then of course Robin Williams is like, but have you been to the places? Right
Yeah.
there, like there's a next level of just reading there and taking your mind there, but actually going to the places and being immersed in it and feeling it is a whole different thing beyond it. And I love that you both have the drive to seek out these places to understand the characters more, to understand the people behind the scenes and how these incredible space operatic things were made, because on surface level they mean so much to us, and to figure out why you have to go to the source material for it. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
for a lot of people it's the script, but also the source material is the places where it was filmed at, where it was created at, how it came to be, what were the nuances of the day of what if they had shifted the camera this way and what could they have looked like, or
Yeah.
how, like we were saying, how long did it take to get to this location, what was brought into the behind the scenes stuff that we don't really get to hear about in documentaries or in books or whatnot, that actually plays a tangible role in how this thing came up to be. And I think it's awesome that you're seeking these out and telling these stories as through your podcast and beyond. You are basically like disciples now for the tours of Tunisia and beyond, and this is awesome. And I can't wait to eventually get out there myself to follow in your footsteps and the footsteps of George and others too, to feel it for myself too. I'm inspired. So thank you,
Anthony, you
both for
gotta
Yeah,
go.
you have to go.
I
You gotta
know.
go.
I'm like, God, I'm texting my wife. Tunisia next year, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
you have to. It's I don't know what to tell you. You have to go. It's wonderful. And the Star Wars of it all is obviously wonderful, but and why we went there, but it was just such a fun trip otherwise, and a
Mhm.
completely new part of the world that neither one of us had been to. And Tunisia was a wonderful country, and we got to learn a lot about the history of Tunisia as a country, like separate from Star Wars too. And it was
Awesome.
great, and we had such a great time, and the people were so nice, the food was great. We got to learn a lot, and yeah, I think it's just it's great. You have to go.
Fantastic. Yeah, it's definitely it's rising to the top of my list right now. So I can't wait to offer this idea up to my spouse to say, hey, well, let's go to Tunisia. Let's knock this off the bucket list
Yeah,
here.
bring
and
her
do
bring her
this.
on. We'll convince her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She'll figure. Yeah, she'll love it. She'll get a lot out of it too.
Yeah.
Now Tunisia is just one place that has a lot of Star Wars connected to it. For the future, because I know the travel bug is still in both of you. Are there any places left that are connected to Star Wars in the real world that you would like to visit? Caitlin, what's top on your list now?
Well, I don't want to say too much because we are checking something off the Star Wars filming bucket list very
Okay.
soon. So check back with us in a little bit, and
Okay.
we'll be able to talk about it more. But yes, the travel bug is very much still in us, and we saw an opportunity and thought, okay, let's do it.
Why not?
Yeah, so early 2026, we have upcoming plans for more Star Wars filming locations?
Wonderful.
I think also I have been to Lake Como
Oh,
when I
I
was
have.
when I was like 14. It was a long time ago. And I like Caitlin and I need to go because I went with my parents and it like as a
Not the same.
No.
it wasn't like I want to go as and spend like the whole day at Villa Balbianello
Mhm.
because and really like immerse ourselves
Yeah.
in the Star Wars of it all. Because
Oh,
it's not
recreate
that
the
we didn't do
sand.
that.
Recreate the sand sequence out there
And
too.
you
Yeah.
did to Lake Como.
Yeah. We really know about sand, and we can bring that line to life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I definitely want to go there in my adulthood for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, Italy's just a fun place, and also like it's like
Exactly.
Como, like you
Yeah.
know, oh, there's Star Wars on top of it. It's just the cherry on top of a wonderful trip to begin with.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'm thinking too, like, isn't Spain some like the interior
Yeah.
for the like the Naboo Palace and stuff like that too? I'm like, oh,
I also have been
wrangle
there
my
in
arm to go there.
Seville.
Oh,
I
really?
know. But like I took a picture, but like it wasn't the same. I need to go again. It was younger. I was in high school.
You didn't know what you
Like,
know
oh no,
now.
I have to go back.
Yes. Oh no.
As an adult, you're wrangling me to go to Spain. Oh no.
Oh no.
How dare you?
Darn.
Well, this has been fantastic, ladies. Thank you both so much for sharing your insights and your experiences and just all of the travel tips and tricks of Galaxy Tours. Folks, in the description, I will include Caitlin and Charlotte's two-part episode, right? Two-part episode about further into fresh off of your travels. So it was a bit more of a deep dive in here. Will be in the show notes for this. I will listen to it myself too, because I only listened to like 5 minutes and then was like, oh, I need to have them on. I don't want to spoil myself for the rest of this conversation here. So I will check that out personally, and I hope you do as well. But Caitlin, where can the folks find both you and Charlotte? I know you do usually the plugs at the end for the pod. So where can the folks find Skytalkers and both of you online if they want to continue the conversation?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having us on, Anthony. Like I said, it's always so great to talk to you. And I just have to let everyone know Anthony was so kind because Charlotte and I had so many scheduling difficulties to get this on the books. And you were just so kind in working with us and being patient with all of our schedule changes. So
My pleasure.
thank you so much. But yeah, if you, like you said, you're going to have both of our episodes in the show notes. And if you want to find us online, we're on Twitter at Skytalkers Pod, but really Instagram is the place to find us now. Just search Skytalkers, and also TikTok is a great place. And then if you're interested in our personal handles, like on Twitter, Charlotte's is at Clarity and mine is at Caitlin Plusher.
Fantastic, folks. If you're not already following them, what are you doing? Go give them all the love and support on social media. Of course, follow Skytalkers wherever you get your podcasts. And for Force Ghost Conversations, we'll be back in your feed next week with a brand new episode. Until then, may the Force be with you. Take care.
Thank you.